Benjamin Negrin's thinking that those Celtic players will be fine when it comes to facing up to what will be a noisy and vibrant atmosphere inside the stadium tonight in Belgrade. But we were talking about Celtic, just the understanding and beginning to build partnerships within the team and starting to rediscover the kind of form that we know they're capable of. Does Negrin fit into that category? Is he settling in well, do you believe?
Yeah, I think he has done okay. You know, he's probably in the team because he's a little bit more consistent than maybe Ingles. Ingles is younger, and he is developing, but I think he's more trusted at the moment by Brendan Rodgers. Again, it'll be interesting to see how he performs in this European game tonight. Will he sit in, or will he be the one that's going to get forward from that midfield and let Tati sit a little bit more? We'll just see how that balances itself off. But he's done okay. But he's definitely, and I'm going to repeat this, he's not a right winger. When they put him out there, I thought he was not, that wasn't his position, but he does a decent job in that inside right position where he plays, getting on the ball when he needs to, but also making runs into the box, running beyond. He does it, but it's just picking his runs and getting that right, and there's an end product. We've seen him getting a few goals also, so I think he's done okay. Will he develop into a top Celtic player in the future? Who knows, but he's working hard and he's doing a decent job at the moment.
Right, the players will be emerging shortly. I'm sure we'll hear the atmosphere cranked up inside the stadium. Just a final thought perhaps right now from James McFadden. Where does Celtic need to get it right? Where do they need to hit top form across the team tonight if they are to emerge successful, James?
I think they have to use the ball and use their attacking players well, because the frustration in the Kairat game was obviously there's big chances missed, and that's another point. If you get a chance, you expect them they'll have to take it, but I think they're used to the ball and getting control of the game as soon as they can. It was a key feature last season when they done well in the Champions League, that they started fast, they got momentum and they got control of the game pretty quickly. So I think that'll be the same. Don't sit and wait. I think get a hold of the ball, get the ball forward, put Red Star under pressure as early as possible, and just get control of the game as quick as you can.
In the Challenge Cup, those two ties that are taking place this evening, 8 or 9 minutes gone, and both at Edinburgh City 0, Celtic B 0, Hamilton 0, St Mirren B 0. We are building up, and very quickly now building up to what will very soon be the start of Celtic's Europa League phase campaign. It is Red Star Belgrade against Celtic. Pat Spawner, what are you looking for tonight? Key individuals who can turn the game Celtic's way?
Yeah, listen, they have to Nekti is a player that I'm looking forward to each week now, and I watch him to see is he going to keep playing the way that he started off and consistent, and tonight European is a big test for him. I'm going to look at him to see if he needs to maybe work more off a defensive position at times, and can he do that role, and then can Maeda exploit with his pace. Just that final, I think he's been off with his final product, his execution. That has to come good tonight if he gets an opportunity, but ultimately then as a group they've got to get that balance right, as we talked about, and make sure they don't give anything away early on and let this crowd get on top of them and so on. Just keep it nice and composed. Yes, keep the ball, control the game, and who knows, the chances come along, take them.
Brendan Rodgers has put real faith in Dyson Maeda tonight, hasn't he? Aidan, clearly he had a magnificent season in the whole last year, or on the whole last season, and Player of the Year, top scorer awards. It's not been anything like the same so far this season, just a couple of goals.
Yeah, it's been a difficult start for Maeda so far. He'd hoped the goal against Kilmarnock, it was a really, really good striker's finish. Would give him that confidence going into these games now, and kind of kick-start his season. He hasn't been performing at the level that he was last season. That's clear for everyone to see, but some of that might go back to a lot of the transfer talk, and I think there was the interview where he came out and he said he was kind of thought he was going to be leaving. He was told he wasn't leaving, which is never ever easy for a player to deal with that, and then to still perform at the level you expect every single week. and players are all human beings. It's just natural, these things do happen. But now the window's closed and he's got his head back on playing, and everything seems to be gearing towards a more optimistic outlook for the team. You'd be hoping that he can kind of rediscover that form, because especially the Kairat games, he looked a little bit short of confidence.
And he missed big chances in those, didn't he?
He did, but that's one thing that Maeda's probably always had. He's never been an unbelievable finisher. He probably needs 2, 3 chances, 4 chances to maybe score a goal, but when he's on his game, he's irrepressible, and I think the biggest thing that him being in the starting lineup tonight is the way that he presses without the ball is a massive thing away from home for Celtic. So look, I still think he can hit those levels that he hit last season. There's the talent's there and the work ethic's there. It's just hopefully he can add to that goal, a couple of weeks ago, and build on that, and it'd be great for his confidence, and hopefully, like I said, he can get back to the performances of last season.
Just watching on the screen there, Pat, you guys probably seen the pictures as well. I mean, it is remarkable as the players come out of those changing rooms, and then you've got this, I mean, literally outside the stadium, you've got this huge long walk, even down to get to the tunnel, and then through that maze all the way along to eventually reach the stadium there, through onto the pitch, and the noise that will erupt. I was actually looking at Arnautovic there. He may be towards the end of his career now. My goodness, he's still got the swagger, hasn't he? He's got that. Yeah. Nobody messes with me look in his face.
Yeah, he is. It is a remarkable pictures when you look at it. And by the way, it looks like really heavy rain also.
Yeah,
pouring out there, which I hope doesn't take away from the game. And then you've got that almost track around the pitch, which again is, players aren't used to that anymore. I think there's very few grounds now have got that type. It used to be very much evident in the days when we played, when you would go abroad into these areas. But so that might, and hopefully it won't upset in any way the Celtic players, and they'll be able to. But the rain's coming down really heavy, Richard. Yeah. I don't know what the guys are feeling out there.
Well, we'll get that from the commentary team in just a moment or two. 2 games already finished on match day 1 of this season's Europa League phase. A goal to draw between PAOK and Maccabi Tel Aviv, and Midtjylland have won by 2-0 against Sturm Graz. Midtjylland will be one of Celtic's opponents in the league phase. That will be away from home on the 6th of November. In terms of the other games that are about to get up and running, Dinamo against Fenerbahce, it's Real Betis against Nottingham Forest, Braga take on Feyenoord, Freiburg take on Basel, it's Nice against Roma, Malmo against Ludogorets. We will keep you up to date a little bit later on the score lines as they develop over the course of the evening. A reminder that the Scottish Cup gets up and running in terms of the television coverage on Friday night. So Friday night at 7:30, Scottish Cup sports scene, Auchinleck Talbot against Cumnock Juniors, the big Ayrshire derby. Tomorrow night, a 6 o'clock start to the programme again, and the boys will be at Ibrox for full live commentary of Rangers against Genk. By then, they will be able to reflect on Celtic's opening game in this season's Europa League. It is in Belgrade against Red Star. More to come later from Pat Bonner and Aidan McGeady. Your commentary team, James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Good evening. Yes, sodden Belgrade now. This rain shower's come from absolutely nowhere. It's been blazing sunshine over the course of the last couple of days that the Celtic supporters have been enjoying here in the Serbian capital, and here in the 52,000 capacity Rajko Mitic Maracana, after the famous arena in Rio, and of course the scene of Scotland's qualification for the delayed Euro 2020 finals, and that penalty shootout, that save from David Marshall as he sent Scotland to their first tournament since 1998. And well, I'm sure as they made their walk down that enormous tunnel here, the 2 sets of players line up either side of the halfway line.
Red Star Belgrade versus Celtic
in the Europa League,
live on Sportside.
He sticks it away!
Scottish football lives here.
The stories we tell.
About the people we know.
And the places we love.
Are not just made here.
They're stories made of here.
The British Isles are globally important for nature.
Yeah, we might find that kid who's got the raw talent, who's in a back street in Preston somewhere. That'd be amazing.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Glasgow.
You'll always be my home.
Made of Glasgow.
Belfast.
Liverpool. Cornwall.
Newcastle.
Cardiff.
Made of here.
Because this is our BBC.
Hello, welcome back to Belgrade. Paul.
Red Star Belgrade versus Celtic
in the Europa League.
Live on Sportside.
He sticks it away!
Scottish football lives here.
Hello, and apologies for the problems with the line that we're having here in Belgrade. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. It's been a couple of interruptions throughout the evening, but hopefully you will be able to stick with us throughout this big match here, match day 1 in the Europa League for the Scottish champions Celtic as they go head to head with Red Star Belgrade. And Callum McGregor, the captain, I was saying there, both he and Kieran Tierney started that Scotland playoff against Serbia here in November 2020, so I'm sure the memories will have come flooding back to them in that tunnel beforehand, and indeed in the changing room, which was the site of incredible scenes of celebration from Steve Clarke's players as they had that long wait for a return to a major tournament. Celtic wanted a return to the most major of club tournaments in the Champions League. They fell at the playoff hurdle, losing to Kairat of Kazakhstan, and Red Star themselves lost at that stage of the tournament as they were surprisingly knocked out by Paphos of Cyprus. The Red Star players have gone into a pre-match huddle here, and the Romanian referee is getting ready to get proceedings underway as well. Celtic looking to react in the best possible way. Thankfully, Celtic will have this second chance in European competition to try and make inroads in a tournament that is served well for Rangers in recent seasons. They of course reached the final in 2022. Just how deeply can Celtic go into this competition? Moment silence there for Dejan Milovanovic, who's the former captain of this club, who recently passed away. The Red Star supporters off to our left have all held up placards, banners, as they look to try and make this place as intimidating as possible for their opponents. It was interesting as well, a tradition of this club is they don't do their warm-up on the pitch pre-match, they do it at the training centre, which is behind the stand to the left, so that's away from the glare of the supporters, but it also leaves the visiting team all alone in front of these Red Star fans. They're making quite the noise here despite plenty empty seats off to our right. Celtic will kick off in their change kit there. It's black with green flashes. They're going to go from right to left. Red Stars you would expect in their famous red and white, the 1991 European Cup winners. After that penalty shootout victory over Marseille that they still celebrate quite rightly to this day, as indeed Celtic do with their success in 1967 here in the secondary tournament, and in the Rajko Matic, the scene of the 1976 European Championship final and the Antonin Panenka penalty and all that as they beat the West Germans. So it's a historical stadium. Celtic looking to make some history in the tournament as they get the game underway. Nygren rolling it back along the deck, back to Carter Vickers, who knocks it high and long towards the Red Star box, where it comes all the way through to their goalkeeper Mateus, the Brazilian who keeps goal for the Serbian champions, who return to the top of the league at the weekend with their derby victory over Partizan away from home at the weekend. Chip ball forward for the home team, goes off the head of Scales, he finds McGregor, who goes back to Carter Vickers. Never mind how deeply Celtic can go in this tournament, James McFadden, how well can they contend with their opponents tonight, such storied opponents?
Yeah, I mean that is the challenge for them tonight, and it's all, you know, heard Brendan Rodgers before the game saying they want to go far, but he's not going to put a measure on it just now or make a prediction. But clearly Celtic feel they can go deep into this competition. This is going to be a tough game for them, but one that, you know, it's a good early test having to come here. It is, you know, a strange stadium in that you've got the running track, of course, but the noise for the fans is early on is very, very, very loud. So yeah, I think Celtic have to just get control, get into the rhythm as quick as they can. The players on the pitch will take no notice of the noise around them. They'll know the job at hand, and they'll be confident they can go and get the job done.
Scales out to this near side for Tinekti, but it's gone over the line. That will be a Red Star ball midway inside their own half on this near side, and it's the South Korean Seoul who is on it, not quite going directly up against his international colleague Yang, who's on the other side. That's rolled back to Tebow, the Nigerian at the back, to his goalkeeper, chipped out to that left hand side, and it goes out for a throw in to Celtic over there. They've not actually been in wonderful form in Europe at home. Of Red Star, 3 wins in their last 11 European matches. However, in amongst that, they did put 5 goals past the German Stuttgart in the Champions League last season. Stuttgart had been runners-up in the Bundesliga the season before that, losing out to Leverkusen for the title as it slipped out to Colby Donovan, the 19-year-old. Huge night for him as it's played to McGregor on the halfway line. Chip ball by Donovan down that right-hand side will be swept to safety there by Veljikovic, the left centre-back for the home team. And it's a side, the right back forward looking to try and get Radonjic involved. He got a special cheer when his name was read out by the PA announcer before the ball was kicked for the first time this evening. And Celtic have won it back on this near side, then switched from left to right, out there to Carter Vickers, and then all the way back to Schmeichel from Donovan, and the Dane plays it short to Scales, who'll take it up towards the halfway line here. As checks his run on the line itself and plays it short to Hatate, square ball infield to McGregor, into the centre circle for Nygren, then back to McGregor. 3 goalless minutes in here in Serbia.
Yeah, they're not all out press, Red Star. They're 2 strikers, and Duarte and Arnautovic are sitting on Callum McGregor to try and stop him getting it.
And they've got a good bit of possession at the edge of the Red Star box, but Hatate couldn't find Nygren, so he tried to slip him in left hand side of the area there, and it's going to be collected here by the powerful Arnautovic, who's inside his own half. He just nicks it back the way, looking to get Elsnik involved. Under pressure, he slips it out to the left, and there's a long ball towards the Celtic box, which comes all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel, who'll bowl it out to Tierney on this near side. And Kieran Tierney completing 90 minutes on Sunday, that would have been big personally for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and also recovering to play and start tonight, so it shows you that he's making progress in his fitness. It'll be a tough test for him because, you know, as I said, Red Star are sitting not totally off the game, but they're allowing Carter Vickers and Scales on the ball, but when the ball comes into areas, they're going and being aggressive with the press, and they look to try and break with speed and numbers as well.
Arnautovic just slipping it out to that left hand side, near to the left full back is Ternisian, the Armenian. He's going to get it again over there on that far side. Low ball back the way there to Veljikovic, who finds Tebow out to Seoul on this near side, the Red Star right. A lovely little touch there to get round Tierney, there by Radonjic up towards the edge of the box. The sliding challenge from Nygren's a good one, despite the protest from the home supporters. The Romanian official is unmoved and lets Celtic play on. As Nygren plays it short to Hatate, then in field for McGregor.
That was bizarre because I think Nygren slipped and got in the way of Radonjic when he came inside. Great little touch inside Kieran Tierney. I felt as though Liam Scales could maybe go and then commit because his touch was a bit heavy, but Nygren on the way back, I think he's either been tripped up or just fell over, but in any case he stopped the ball from going inside. There was no foul at all, but it was just unconventional from Nygren.
And some kind of celebration going on in the distance, fireworks leaping up into the air off the back of the massive floodlights on either side of the stadium. On the far side of it, you can see both of them towering up into the dark skies above. The rain continues to tumble down. A clearance from Tebo's poor, killed in the chest by McGregor. He rolls it out to Yang, wants to get the break of the ball. He's on it just now. He's fouled. Free kick. And it's the left back who's brought him down. Tiknisian, and Celtic have a free kick in a decent attacking position here, albeit right out on that far side.
Yeah, he does well, Yang. It's a firm enough pass from Cameron Carter-Vickers out to him. Tunisian's trying to nick in and get in front. He uses his body well to let it run across, and then when he turns to chase it, he gets across the face of Tunisian, who brings him down.
And a Celtic free kick which Nygren's over. It's a couple of yards from the far side touchline, level with the edge of the D of the Red Star box, and it comes. It's headed back across by Carter-Vickers and then cleared on the 6-yard line. And just needed someone in a Celtic jersey to beat the defender to it, and they could have been in there. But here come Red Star on the counter-attack on this near side, and it's the skipper Ivanic who wins it for Red Star, goes back the way to Veljikovic, who turns it out to that left-hand side, and it is collected by Tiknisian. Big switch out to Ivanic on this right flank. He's got a bit of space to work in here. Good ball in, and really important slide challenge there by Liam Scales, and it's come off Arnautovic last by the looks of it, and it will be a Celtic goal kick. But there's the first real warning from the wide areas in the attacking third for Red Star. It was Ivanic down this right side, bending the ball in between the goalkeeper and the last defender. It's always where the winger wants to put it, and it's where the striker wants to be.
Yeah, well, it's great play. Tunisian coming out of the left-hand side, switch of play, excellent pass. Perfect for Evian to just get out his feet and deliver into an area which is still, it's a good ball, but the defending from Liam Scales is outstanding, because Arnautovic makes that run. He's well matched by Liam Scales, and he gets a touch on it, Arnautovic, but Scales in the perfect position. Obviously comes back off Arnautovic, we can't see the replays, but comes back off him for the goal kick. So yep, the warning signs there for Celtic. Red Star, move the ball quick, get forward quick, but you have to praise Liam Scales, he's defending in that area there.
Tierney out to Tenecti on this near side, rolls it back to Tierney inside his own half. No goals, 8 minutes played. McGregor in the centre circle to Scales. He trots over the halfway line. Just to see an option in front of him, plays it to Hatate, straight back to Scales, who squares it to Hatate, knocks it through to Nygren. Nygren loses out of 2.
Well, apologies, clearly there have been issues with the line. Generally it's been able to get re-established pretty quickly, and indeed you haven't missed anything, because, well, I was just about to say because the line is back, but it has dropped again. We do occasionally have this, of course, when we're broadcasting from various parts of the continent. Nothing has happened in the game as we return to James and Liam.
Apologies again, it's going to be one of those nights, I think, by the looks of things. So we'll just have to get on with it and just stick with us. Nothing's happened, you've missed not a jot while you were away there. As McGregor picks up in the centre circle and squares it to Carter-Vickers. It's Sports on here in BBC Radio Scotland. 5 Sports Extra this evening as well. Matchday won the Europa League. Celtic in Belgrade. McGregor loses it in the midfield. The home team bounding forward across the halfway line. They've got 3 or 4 in support of this attack. So they run up to the edge of the penalty area, and saw the headlines there as he got to the edge of the box. Did Radonjic, as he shifted really quickly there. He was over the left hand side in his own half. He eventually ended up at the edge of the box, right hand side of the D. Couldn't resist.
Yeah, it's a great powerful run, as you say, cutting in for the left hand side all the way through the heart of that Celtic midfield and onto the back line. never troubling Schmeichel with his effort, but you can't blame him for taking it, but showing that drive to get forward from a slack pass from Rio Hatate, just beyond Callum McGregor.
Celtic have it over on the right with Yang, who's going to get it back immediately there from Nygren, forward looking for Maida, but Maida gone the other way, it was behind him, and now it's back with the goalkeeper Matthews. How do you think Celtic have settled 10 minutes in?
Yeah, I think they've a shot at goal, but yeah, I think they look comfortable. I think Red Star are showing that they've got qualities as well, and it's maybe just that final pass. I think Maida just gone, maybe anticipating the first time pass from Yang when Nygren backheels it back into his path.
There's Red Star in possession with Bruno Duarte, who starts this evening ahead of Alexander Katai, who's their top scorer this season with 12 and 13. He's on the bench, and it's Duarte, the Brazilian, who's been given the nod to play in that effective number 10 position. Veljikovic rolls it out to the far side for Tiknisian, and back to Veljikovic. Squares it there to Table. The two centre backs exchanging passes. Now out to the right side, Sol looking to get it to Radonjic, well defended by Tierney, who puts it out for a throw in on this near side, which Red Star take quickly through Sol, and he bowls it there to Thomas Handel, the Portuguese defensive midfielder, and it's now back with the goalkeeper. Matthews plays it short to his left for Veljikovic. Down the line there for Arnautovic, who's found himself in his own half again. And even it's big switch of play out to this near side, and it's a lovely ball and an even better take from Radonjic. His pass wasn't great though, sold his teammate short there, and onto it is Tinekti. He's driving up the left hand side. Now he's about midway inside Red Star territory, up to the edge of the box. Tinekti through looking for Hatate, but they managed to make the block just at the last there. The slide there from Handel manages to win it back for Red Star, and it was he in the midfield who failed to get onto the pass. It was short to him, to be fair to him. He's managed to bail his team out on that occasion. A really good run forward by Tinekti as Red Star come up the other end. We've got an opportunity here with Ivanic. Nobody around him at the moment. Nygren trying to close him down as he rolls it back to Handel just inside the centre circle. To Sol on this near side. Red Star attacking the goal to the right here in this first half. The goal that former Celtic player Ryan Christie scored in that play-off as the cross comes in from the near side, and Carter Vickers is forced to head it behind for the game's first corner, which comes on 13 minutes with the score Red Star 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, it's as we expected. Liam a bit open, Celtic going down, Tinekti brilliant defending and then driving forward, and Hatate makes a lovely run just inside in that inside channel, and he just underhits the pass slightly, and then Red Star turn that into an attack, dangerous ball in. Arnautovic is going to have to be watched because he's got that physicality. He may not have the speed he used to have, but he's got the physicality and the awareness to be in the right position, forcing Celtic into defending.
Handel's corner, bending in on top of Schmeichel, who holds on, clutched it well. We're right behind that. Our position here is level with Kasper Schmeichel's penalty area. Yawning playing surface and stadium laid out in front of us here. It's a perfect view as Donovan comes forward for Celtic and rolls it out to the right hand touchline for Nygren. The Swede infield to Donovan, who lays it back to his captain. McGregor switching it right to left to the centre circle for Scales. Low ball out to Tinekti on this left side. It's the Tunisian skips infield, good play, rolls it back to Hatate, then to McGregor. The footed pass, chip ball forward into the box by Donovan, looking for Maida's headed away. The clearance is helped on its way there by Tiknisian. Celtic get it back, Nygren has it, they're going to drive into the penalty area. Thibault gets on to the loose touch by Nygren, he couldn't quite make it work, and Red Star pick up on this near side where it's shifted up the line, and it's with Duarte. Another switch, this time right to left. They're quite comfortable doing that, clearly, the home team. Ivanic stepping in field, inverted position, the left wingers, he fires it forward into the feet of Arnautovic. He's facing away from goal, is to roll it out to this near side. An opportunity for Radonjic again. It's tricky, number 49 scored what proved to be the winner at the weekend against their hated rivals Partizan. They've had to come all the way back to the edge of the centre circle to try and build again as it's played out to that left-hand side. Lovely spin by Technisia, and he might win a corner here. He has done. It bounces off Donovan. Red Star going to pile the pressure on here. 50 minutes in at 0-0.
They're sharp in the wide areas. When the ball comes out, whether it's Radonjic, Ivanic, you've seen Technisia in there, they take that, they don't control it, they take that first touch on the move and stopping Celtic from being able to set, and more often than not they're getting away from the marker, so they do look really sharp and dangerous down the wide areas.
It's going to be an out-swinging delivery here from that far side, left-footed in the corner, bent into the box, headed down towards the back post, and Ivanic is very close to getting something onto it. The first header was one which will be a concern for Brendan Rodgers, but it didn't come to anything in the end, and it stays goalless.
Yeah, but it should have. He's in a great position. I just don't know if he's expecting the ball to come to him. Ivanic, he doesn't really react. It does, I think, just slice off the inside of his boot, but he doesn't see it coming. That's a big opportunity for Red Star.
Celtic opened their Champions League campaign a year ago in the best possible manner with a 5-1 win over Slovan Bratislava. They then had the sobering evening in Dortmund in the follow-up, but that part, it was a productive season in the top tier. Not in that tournament this time around, but there is a belief that they could perhaps go even further in this competition than they would do in the Champions League, as Tenekti can't keep it in play on this near side. That will be a Red Star throw midway inside their own half. The home fans up the noise levels. Just the kind of place you'd have liked to have played in.
Absolutely. You just look to the left, the Red Star fans just bouncing up and down. The chant is so loud. Yeah, absolutely. Especially, you spoke about the tunnel beforehand, something a bit special, and certainly the atmosphere is living up to the expectation. These were the games you wanted to play in at arenas like this. And I know that you look at, it's got the old running track and you are a bit far away from the fans, but I think the noise they're making certainly makes up for that.
Celtic in possession here with Scales, gets it from Donovan, left to the centre circle, moves up to halfway and rolls it low out to this near side for Tenekti. To McGregor, and then shift it to Carter Vickers. And eventually it's switched all the way over to the right side with Yang. Darts infield outside of the boot for Maida, who's offside. And a free kick to Red Star. Heard Aidan talking about it before the game. Maida took his goal at Kilmarnock really well. A week past Sunday, it was Iheanacho who started against Partick Thistle in the League Cup on Sunday past. Maida back in the side as Ivanic rolls it back the way there to Lujikovic, to his goalkeeper, and Maida slid in there along the slick surface and just about pinched it off him. That's a risky move there from Mateus, the Red Star goalkeeper. He got away with it though.
Yeah, he did. There's no other player you want to be trying that against, but clearly Mateus has got more confidence in his ability than I have. But yeah, it just shows you, the composure. I'm sure he won't be doing it again. Maida will be in there earlier to try and nick it off him.
They've won it back here, have the home team as they look to try and get darting down the right with Elshnik. His ball across towards the edge of the 6-yard box is cleared. Still they come though. Sol with the cross with the right foot. The header at goal is wide from Ivanic. They will stay Red Star 0, Celtic 0 on 19 minutes, but the Serbian champions beginning to flex their muscles here.
Yeah, they are. They've looked dangerous anyway, but starting to get a bit more joy, particularly down this right-hand side. The decent cross in. I don't think the connection's good enough. Well, certainly it didn't go in, but I think he can do better. Ivanic at the back post. And certainly test Kasper Schmeichel. Another little warning sign for Celtic.
He's had a couple of chances, Ivanic, hasn't he, in the last few minutes?
Yeah, he's picked up the right position. The cross is great, stood up, little clip to the back post. Sometimes it can be difficult to generate power, but he doesn't get power or direction in it.
Celtic looking for more energy in the team compared to what we saw in Kazakhstan in the Champions League playoff. They were pretty pedestrian over both legs of that tie. Failed to score in the two legs, including extra time. with Elsnik just slipping it to Handel, who'll roll it out to the left for Ivanic. Tiknizyan goes on the overlap, but he's rolled it infield instead to Veljikovic, who finds Tebo in the centre circle, not under any pressure as he gives it back to Veljikovic to his left. Forward it comes to Elsnik, who'll turn it back to Handel, fires it forward, and opportunity for Duarte here, albeit the ball bobbles between his feet, and that allows Hatate to come in and win it back. Out to Tenekti on this near side. 20 on the clock. It is goalless in Belgrade. It's Carter Vickers forward to Nigren on the halfway line, short to Donovan. Out to Yang. Nigren continues his run. He's down that right hand side up against Veljikovic. Tiknizyan there as well, as Nigren does well to knock it back the way to Yang. Fires the ball into the box, cleared by Sol. Only half away though. Eventually Veljikovic stabs it clear as Scales picks up the scraps in the midfield. Forward to McGregor, back to Carter Vickers, rolls it out to the right side here for Nigren. Pushes it back to McGregor. He'll then roll it back to Carter Vickers. Celtic probing here, trying to find a way through. And as Carter Vickers who finds McGregor. The 2 out of the 3 goals Paphos scored against Red Star in the Champions League playoffs were outstanding finishes, one from distance, the other in the second leg, the one that won the second leg and ultimately, helped take them through, eased them through. It was an outstanding flick finish first time.
Yeah, it was
in the top
off the
corner.
training ground as well. Wide free kick clipped into a narrow position and just lobbed into the top corner.
There's Nigren back to the angle of the box there, right angle for Hatate's cross is put away by Tebo. Second chance, Donovan fires it in low and it's cleared and out for a Celtic throw-in, level with the Red Star penalty spot over on the right. Now with Hatate, out to Donovan, fires the cross in, it's a good one as well, comes off the head of Sol, up into the air it goes, bounces in the box and then comes off a head, a Red Star head, and it's half away. Tierney battling to try and win it back, but he's lost out in that particular battle. And a little flick forward there from Duarte, and a foul by Scales and a Red Star free kick, level with the edge of the centre circle on this near side. We played a quarter of this game, no goals as yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough test for Scales and Carter Vickers tonight with Arnautovic. I don't think he'll run away from them, but he's so strong. He gets in the right position, he's turning it into a fight, and he's got that intelligence to win free kicks, take the pressure off if needed, and get his team up the pitch and get control in the game again.
They've been a little bit sloppy, Red Star, with the ball out of defence at times. Celtic unable to punish them as yet for these mistakes. And there's Sol who picks up on the near side infield to Table, who chips it long up towards the halfway line, but it bounces harmlessly through to Liam Scales and now Carter Vickers. A tough assignment to start things off in the Europa League for Celtic against the 11-time Serbian champions. They won a record 19 Yugoslav top flight titles as well, and of course most famously of all, that European Cup win in 91. A dreadful final, but they won it on penalties, scored all 5 of their spot kicks, and Mihailovic, Prosinecki, Panchev among those to score from the spot. What a side it was, a side that didn't really, I was waiting to say come to full fruition, but they did win a European Cup, they did win the Intercontinental Cup as well, but they could, if you listen to some of those who played for them in that era, had not been for the club's the team's effective breakup because of the civil war that descended on Yugoslavia, they could well have gone on to win a lot more than they did in continental competition. And mixing it with that wonderful AC Milan side, Sampdoria had a great team back in those days as well. You saw what Marseille did, they, albeit controversially, won the European Cup a couple of years later. As Tebo picks up for the current iteration of Red Star, as Sol, long ball down the right, Scales read it, prevents it getting through to Duarte. Little flick forward by Radonjic, comes off a Celtic player last and out for a Red Star throw in just inside their own half.
A few passes from Liam Scales where he's trying to force the issue and he's giving the ball away. I don't think he has to, a couple of them particularly, it doesn't even look like the pass is on. He's trying to make something happen, and I don't think it's on.
Sol's ball down the line here to Radonjic. Good sleight of foot there to shimmy away from Tinekti. Red Star have it on the near side. It's going out of play for, I thought it was going to be a throw-in, but I think Tinekti's fouled his man, so it will be a Red Star free kick. It's brought Sol to the ground, and it will be a free kick to the home team midway inside their own half. Remember, Rangers getting their Europa League campaign underway tomorrow evening when they host Genk, and they'll be hoping for better than the last time they took on a Belgian side when Club Brugge hammered them in the playoffs for the Champions League. And it is Red Star in possession, and on this near side they have it just inside the Celtic half of Duarte. Low ball back in field is picked up there by Elsnik. Tadojikovic left in the centre circle, the big centre back knocks it forward, but it's gone straight to Tierney, who finds Hatate, frees himself of Elsnik and slips it to Donovan to his right. The ball from Donovan down the right side for Yang. Next it in field to Nygren, who's managed to get it through to Maida, but he's just offside. And just for a split second there, looked like he was going to get onto it and get a run in on the goalkeeper. It remains Red Star Belgrade 0, Celtic 0 here.
Yeah, it was great play from Yang on the right hand side. Looked like he was going to go back the way. Two men closing him down. He just takes a little touch with the inside, flicks it with the outside of his boot, gives it to Nygren, who plays the early pass to Maida, but Celtic get the free kick for the challenge on Yang. It is Tinekti on this near side, rolled back to Tierney and then field to McGregor, and now to Scales. Scales switches it left to right of the centre circle for Carter Vickers, who goes back to his central defensive colleague. Along the halfway line for Tierney to the left. Then back with Scales, who switches it to the right of the centre circle for Carter Vickers. And what the ball in the first half here? They see more of it than they might have anticipated. I don't think so. I think that Celtic expect that they're going to be able to dominate games.
There's a chance for Celtics, pulled back across in the left by Tierney and put behind for a corner. Celtics first of the piece arrives in the 28th minute as they look to break the deadlock here. Yeah, well, it's a good run, just a half a minute or so ago. Tierney picks the ball up, Tinekti, Hatate and McGregor all come short to feet, the spaces in behind, and if one of them just makes that run, then they can go and get at the back line. Short corner to Nygren, gets his cross in, it was a decent one as well, but it's headed away, and there is a foul by Donovan in the 6-yard box as he was scrambling to try to get on the end of the cross that came via the short corner. He could do nothing there, and he's wiped his man out as well. He might need some medical attention. I'm not sure who it is, we're miles away from it. Can't see it unless I see the number, and he's lying on his back just now. EFL Cup action tonight as well. There are leads for Manchester City, Newcastle, Spurs and Arsenal, so no real shocks there. And I mentioned Rangers starting their Europa League campaign tomorrow. Aston Villa do likewise as well. The European action thunders on, and this week is exclusively for the Europa League, which is tonight and tomorrow. Chance here perhaps. Ivanic driving forward, Celtic trying to get back in numbers, and Scales does brilliantly to close the door in the face of Ivanic, who was driving in on Kasper Schmeichel. Scales did well. Yeah, he did. Read the situation brilliantly. Spotted that Donovan was wrong side. Cross into the box is headed away by Carter Vickers, and then a volley from distance, half volleys, last high over the bar, and it will be. I mean, Red Star have had the two best chances of the game. The Celtic are seeing as much of the ball as they are, and they're making entries into that attacking third on a regular basis. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it has been even. Red Star looking dangerous when the thing they have is they're sitting in a shape, not totally off the ball, but the speed in which they turn that almost defensive situation into an attack has been really impressive. The switch of play, the use of the ball has been good, and when they've got into areas to get crosses in,
or get behind. Celtic have defended them in the end very well, particularly with Scales.
Red Star have it. Sol with a little back heel to halfway. An option on this near side, as he always seems to be, is Radonjic. Puts it forward. It's worked out first time. Back out to the right hand side. The cross comes in from Elsnik. He's beaten everyone. Goes all the way through to the other side of the pitch. And Yang trying to see it out for a throw in, which he does. He thinks it's his. It's not. Red Star take it quickly. Nizjan with it, and comes the cross. There's the shot into the side net. Radonjic, right hand side of the penalty spot. He ripples Schmeichel's net, but as far as Celtic are concerned, it was the right side of the post. It stays 0-0.
Yeah, and there's another warning. Another cross ball, deep one to the back post, and Duarte comes onto it. It's a good connection, but it just hits the side net. And
Celtic have it with Donovan forward to Maidais. A little bit slack with the pass there though, and Red Star get it back, and they've got an opportunity with Veljicevic. He pushes it into the midfield. It's worked out to the right hand side. Radonjic, he had that chance a moment ago up towards Arnautovic, who is fouling. Carter Vickers is the Romanian referee, and Celtic have a free kick on 31 minutes. 0-0. I'm talking about that Aston Villa game tomorrow night. They're playing Bologna, so there could be a battle royale between Messrs McGinn and Ferguson, Scotland colleagues, as Carter Vickers collects right of the centre circle in his own half, to his left for Scales, rolls the ball under his left foot and then passes it forward to Tierney, then to Scales, to Hatate, back to Liam Scales, and infield to Tierney, right to left of the circle for Carter Vickers, and then to Scales, to McGregor, forward to Nygren, first time looking for Tierney. Tierney's done well to force it through to Maida. He was fouled. The ref seeing if Celtic have an advantage here. They haven't been able to take advantage of that, and it goes out for a throw in on the near side, and they won't be getting the free kick either. That's good refereeing.
yeah, it is. It was a slack pass from Hatate, trying to get him behind for Tenekti, and Tierney, it's a great take. He just lets it come across his body. I think it's Tebu that comes in and catches him, wipes him out.
Yeah, this is Red Star 0, Celtic 0, live on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Sports Extra. Match day 1 in the Europa League. It's a long ball forward for Red Star. Arnautovic gets it back immediately there from Duarte. Rolls it back into his own half for Veljicevic, who squares it to Table, who does likewise to his right for Sol. And then to Table. Into the midfield it comes. Duarte's onto it now. And got it from Hendel. It's played forward but given away, and now Tenekti wins it back for Celtic, drives up the line but loses it. Both teams be guilty of that at times in the match. There's been possession surrendered a little bit too easily, unforced errors. The rain is continuing to make things a little bit trickier.
Yeah, but you can tell they're aware of the threat that Tenekti carries down this left hand side, because as soon as he picks it up there's 3 men around him.
Yeah, they passed it forward towards Tenekti there, but Sol wins it back and plays it to Elsnik, who squares it to Veljicevic, to Tebo. His attempted ball back comes off Maida, loops up into the air and is bobbling around at the right angle of the box, and that's a free kick won by Yang for Celtic at the right angle of the area, and that is a really cheap one for Red Star to be giving away. But Yang's done well there. I'm not saying he was playing for it, but he was certainly thinking there's going to be some kind of contact here.
That's good play, you know. Slack from Table, fires it off Maida, which makes the ball spin. It starts to go back towards the Red Star goal, then spins away. Yang just puts his body in, makes sure that if he doesn't get the ball, then the man has to go through him, and he gets the foul. It's good play.
What can Celtic come up with here? Benjamin Nygren is over the free kick. Plenty in Celtic jerseys in the Red Star box for this. Given the conditions, could even have a little pop at the goal here. Nygren, let's find out. Left-footed, he has knocked it towards goal. It bounces in front of the keeper, who holds on, and it stays 0-0. But I think it is worth it when you see the conditions here now.
Absolutely. His only issue is it was straight at the goalkeeper. Fire and try to use the slick ground to just bounce in front of him. And if he gets that towards the far corner or the near corner and make the goalkeeper work, then it does become a lot more difficult.
Callum McGregor, square to Scales. Heading into the final 10 minutes of the opening 45 here in Serbia. There's Tierney short to Scales. McGregor in the circle if he wants him. Instead he squares it to Carter Vickers. And back tails to Tierney to his left. Tenecti on the touchline if he wants him. Instead he clips it forward, looking for Nygren. He's come over to the left side. It bounces off his knee. Frustrating for the Swedish midfielder. Celtic number 8, and it bobbles out for a throw-in to Red Star on the near side.
It's a good run, it's just the timing. Nygren spots the space, but Tierney had already, the opportunity wasn't there to play it, so he'd taken the touch inside. He had to then shift it back onto his left and play that pass, and by that point he was well matched, Nygren.
Chance here for Red Star, but it's another loose ball at the edge of the Celtic box as McGregor finds Yang. He's in a tight spot here, he's lost it, and now Duarte darting towards the box, decides to go for a goal. He rattles the post. Schmeichel might even have got a little touch to that as it comes out to this near side, and it will be a Red Star throw-in, which tells you Schmeichel's got fingertips to that.
Yeah, I think he did, and it's slack play. Callum McGregor does brilliant driving forward. It looks like he's going to keep driving. He plays a little square pass which actually ends up behind him and into Yang, who then tries to dribble himself out of trouble, and Schmeichel at full stretch, and he had to be to claw that out and make sure it doesn't go in the back of the net. Near post effort as well.
And we don't have monitors where we are, so we've not seen a replay. It just looked as though Schmeichel had got something on that as Tierney gets it from McGregor out to Tenecti on the near side, and infield to Callum McGregor, to Scales in the centre circle. He looks up at the pitch ahead of him to see what's there and plays it short instead to McGregor. And then to Tierney. Tierney turns away from his man and into the circle again for Scales, who sweeps it to Carter Vickers to his right. Then back to Scales. Knocks it forward to Maida. And to Scales again in the centre circle. There's a couple of runners ahead of him. Donovan had made a good run into an inside channel. Instead it's out to the left for Tenecti. And we've seen just in little glimpses tonight what he could offer Celtic on the continental stage. We have a couple of promising performances from him against Kilmarnock and Partick Thistle in their domestic matches recently. It's Carter Vickers out to the right for Donovan, given away by Celtic. Red Star trying to make something of it. Scales goes in and wins it back, plays it forward looking for Maida, who not for the first time tonight is offside, although in his defence this time he's not expecting it coming forward to him at that point, and it stays Red Star 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, it was a tackle from Scales that almost puts him through it, Maida, so you can forgive him slightly for being offside, but Red Star are wide, they stretch the pitch, and when they don't have it they narrow up and make it difficult for Celtic to play through them.
Carter Vickers chasing back. Schmeichel's going to come out and help him, with Arnautovic bearing down on the pair of them. Schmeichel just dumps it out for a throw into Red Star on this near side, which will be taken by Sol. He's just inside Celtic territory as he looks for somebody in red and white. Bowls it back to Table. He was one of 3 changes from the team that started against Partizan in the derby at the weekend. Short there to Veljikovic, out to Tiknesian on that far side, down the line for Ivanic, covering across is Carter Vickers, who puts it out for the throw-in. Important period in the game this, as Celtic's opponents domestically know all about when it comes to the end of a half of football. You've got to watch what you're doing at this point, know how damaging a goal scored before the break can be. They've surrendered a couple of opportunities. By and large it's been a decent enough performance away from home in Europe for Celtic, but perhaps a touch fortunate not to be behind. There's an opportunity on the right for one of the men who's causing havoc with Radonjic once again on the ball. Back to Sol though, into the edge of his box for Matthews. He hits it long looking for Radonjic, sails over his head though, and McGregor is fouled down there by Handel, and that will be a free kick to Celtic and just calms things down again. A draw is a decent result for Celtic tonight. It's probably better than that, in fact.
Yeah, like you'd never never say no to a draw away from home in Europe, but the game's there to be won for Celtic as well. But Red Star have shown they are dangerous, they're a good side, and they have been brave as well, stretching the game, as I said, definitely putting 4 players on the Celtic back line, drawing them all the way back, then all the space in the midfield, good midfield runners, and Celtic can't just counter quick enough to exploit the gaps that they're leaving.
Neil Snick going back to his goalkeeper. I don't think the head coach is too impressed with what he's seeing from some of his defenders at times. Vladan Milijovic, who described Celtic as an exceptional team in his media conference yesterday here. It is Tinekti rolling it back to Tierney.
So even in that one there, sorry Liam, when Nygren's driving forward, Tinekti has been brilliant in his appearances so far, but he needs to just drive forward. He stops and then Nygren plays it square and runs forward. Tinekti goes back to Tierney, then they go out the other side, and by that point Red Star have got all the men behind the ball. I think if Tinekti runs up the line, it allows Nygren to either play the pass in behind or keep driving into the space and stretch Red Star and put them on the back foot. And now Red Star have the ball back because there's no spaces for Celtic to play through.
Yeah, they've got an opportunity to drive down that left hand side again. Ivanic is waiting in the middle. The cross comes to Arnautovic, who smashes it wide and somehow misses on the volley. Well, that's rattled what would have been the stanchion back in the old days, and somehow he's missed, and you're just fully expecting him to be wheeling away celebrating right about now.
Yeah, especially a man who has quality. He keeps his eye on the ball, just maybe slightly cuts across it. But in any case, another warning sign. Quick attack from Red Star down the left hand side, cross again to the back post. Scales is scrambling to try and get something on it, and Arnautovic just peeling off into a good position.
Yeah, it just came bouncing back off the pole that's holding the netting up there behind Schmeichel's goal frame. And here they come again, Red Star, 3 minutes to the end of the 45, and they are threatening once more. It's a low ball across, Arnautovic close to getting there. Scales with some brilliant last ditch defending, got between the man and the ball and clears. Tough period in the match this for the Scottish champions, under the pump a little bit here. As Nygren picks up in the centre circle to his left for Hatate, and out to Tinekti on the near side. And Celtic themselves threaten here. Tinekti comes back away from a couple box, turns, and then turns 180 degrees back to McGregor. Rolls it to Tinekti on the left hand side. Back on to his right side, gets it to Tierney. Tierney continues to run to the byline. Tierney looks up, smashes it across and wins the corner as it bounces off Sol. That was promising, but perhaps just not quick enough.
Yeah, absolutely. It's slow, and they're looking for that perfect opening. Celtic. Tinekti, as soon as he gets it, 3 men scrambling to try and get him and stop him. And when he plays it back, Tierney fakes a cross, takes a little touch up the line, and I thought that's the opportunity then to get the cross in. He takes a touch, but that point again, Red Star go and flood that near post area.
And it comes into the box, the corner, and it's not clear. And breaks to Tierney in the centre circle here for Celtic, on his own at the moment. Looks up, pings a long left foot ball out to Tinekti on the left. He's found them as well. Steps in field, chance to cross, fires the low ball in, and it just bounces off Maida and goes behind for the goal kick harmlessly as we move in towards the final minute of the opening 45. And the score still blank. And Red Star have given it away again. And now it's Yang to the edge of the box on his left side. Short ball back to Hatate, and then flicked back across the edge of the D where Tinekti gets onto it, plays it to McGregor with the left foot out to the right side for Donovan. Short ball for Nygren, and then to McGregor. Square to Tierney. Can he find Tinekti again? He can. Low ball. Tinekti's level the 18-yard line of Red Star here. Back in field to Hatate. Back on his left side, goes down. Free kick, Celtic. Really good position again here. This time it's left of the D. As the seconds of this first half tick away, we wait to see what the stoppage time is going to be. But Celtic could get a real opportunity to find the opening goal themselves here.
Yeah, pretty similar from Nygren over on the right hand side, this time on the left to Tinekti, and we've got a great view of it. This is one, because of the positioning of Red Star defence, is to fire low use the ground towards that back post. The recovering defenders might knock it in, and it allows the Celtic attackers to go and get a run at. Konecti's moved away from it. It's Nygren's going to hit it with the left foot.
1 minute's been added, we're into it. Nygren with his free kick, not far outside the box, bends it in on. Carter Vickers met it, but he can only flick his header well wide there, and he knows, going by his reaction as he holds his head in his hands, how big a chance that actually was. It stays Red Star 0, Celtic 0.
That's a huge opportunity for Carter Vickers. I don't know if it comes off the top of his head, if he just takes his eye off it, but he's in space. Timing of the run's excellent, the delivery's excellent, right behind the back line of Red Star. He should be hitting the target at the very, very least. He's just inside the back post. I expect him to score from that position.
It was a great ball in, whipped in by Benjamin Nygren. McGregor picks up and finds Nygren. He's inside his own half here though, to the right for Donovan. Short to McGregor, back to Donovan. Long ball looking for Majdan behind the defender, but Veljikovic gets there and clears. Flicked on by Ivanic as the referee blows for half time here in the Serbian capital. And it's goalless, but there's been chances for both sides, primarily for Red Star, who've gone close a couple of times through Ivanic. Nadonjic went close as well as he shot into the side net. Duarte hit the post. Arnautovic volleyed wide, and it looked like he was going to give the home team the lead. The Celtic threatening themselves right at the end of the half there as Carter Vickers nodded wide from the Nygren free kick. And that was about it for the opening half of football in Celtic's Europa League campaign, as the players head off to the left up that famous tunnel, and we await to see if Celtic can pick up anything from match day 1 here in Belgrade, where at half time it is Red Star 0, Celtic 0.
Red Star Belgrade versus Celtic
in the Europa League,
live on Sportside.
He sticks it away.
Scottish football lives here.
The stories we tell,
About the people we know,
and the places we love,
are not just made here.
they're stories made of here.
The British Isles are globally important for nature.
Yeah, we might find that kid who's got the raw talent, who's in a back street in Preston somewhere. That'd be amazing.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Glasgow.
You'll always be my home.
Made of Glasgow,
Belfast,
Liverpool, Cornwall,
Newcastle,
Cardiff.
made of here.
Because this is our BBC.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. We're live on BBC Radio Scotland, live also tonight on 5 Live Sports Extra. Half-time it is, Red Star Belgrade 0, Celtic 0. Also in the Europa League, Real Betis 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Bakambu giving the home side the lead in Seville early on, but a double in the space of 5 minutes from Igor Jesus, the Brazilian, now with 4 goals in his last 3 matches. And Ange Postecoglou's team lead by 2-1 at the break. Elsewhere, it's Dinamo 1, Fenerbahce 1, Braga 0, Feyenoord 0, Freiburg 1, Basel 0, it's Nice 0, Roma 0, Malmo 0, Ludogorets 2, and the 2 full times from earlier at the 5:45 kickoffs, PAOK 0, Maccabi Tel Aviv 0, and Midtjylland 2. Sturm Graz 0. In the English League Cup this evening, Huddersfield 0, Manchester City 1. Phil Foden with the only goal so far in that one. Newcastle are 2-0 up against Bradford City. Joe Linton and Osula with the goals there. Spurs 2-0 against Doncaster. Palinha and a McGrath own goal. And it's half-time, Port Vale 0, Arsenal 1. Eze with a goal that separates the sides in that one. And in the Scottish Challenge Cup, the KDM Evolution Trophy that we talked about earlier on, it's Edinburgh City 0, Celtic B 1 after 53 minutes. Callum Osmond with a goal for the Celtic youngsters there. And Hamilton, who have enjoyed a pretty decent start to the campaign, 3-0 up against St Mirren B. Kevin O'Hara with his 4th of the season. Ollie Shaw with a double, 2 goals in the space of 60 seconds. He's up to 7 for the campaign. Remember, tomorrow night, live commentary to come on Sports Sound. 6 o'clock start to the programme. Rangers against Genk. The guys will be live from Ibrox Stadium. So, goalless. We've obviously had one or two issues with the line there in Belgrade. So our technical wizards are trying to resolve that during half-time. Let's get the thoughts of Aidan McGeady and Pat Bonner. They've had to ride the luck a little bit at times, Pat, haven't they? But are you happy enough with the first half showing or not?
I think Brendan Rodgers would be very happy, considering that they had the big chances in that game, Red Star, especially at the back post, where they had, and I think the two really, really good chances, didn't fail to hit the target. And of course, one, I think Schmeichel did get a touch, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was the slightest of touches, but I think he did.
Yeah, it was a good save. But he gave the ball away in a bad area that led to that chance. But just on that back post, that's where I see a little bit of problems for Celtic at the moment. They have...
So that's the Scales Tierney side.
Yeah, it's a problem for Tierney. Does he go in and mark? They're playing almost with a 1-4-4-2. They're keeping two up, and then they're keeping their wingers kind of almost wide, and they pick up the ball and they attack. And then there's a fullback on the opposite side. Then do you go in to give cover? Do you go in tight? And then if a midfielder runs in there, who do you pick up? Scales has got to go and pick up one of the strikers, and they're left almost like a 2v1 situation at the back post. Now, how do you deal with that? Is it the winger that comes back? Is it one of the midfielders that tracks in there to help Tierney? But he's certainly vulnerable. Is it his positioning himself? Can he deal with it? They're the questions at the moment, but that is an area where Red Star, I think, tried to exploit, and they nearly got their goal from it.
Yeah, look, they have, Aidan, haven't they? They've had a few opportunities in there. There have been some long-range strikes. Duarte's had a couple of shots. You've got to say that Ivanic should certainly have scored one, if not two. I suppose Arnautovic with that volley into the side netting as well. It's been pretty tough at times, hasn't it?
Listen, it's been a difficult half of football for Celtic, but look, the silver lining is that it's still 0-0.
Yep.
I think Red Star have been the more threatening team. They seem to have kind of worked out how to play against Celtic kind of towards the end of this first half. They seem to be playing short passes and one side of the pitch to come out quickly, and I think Tierney's been kind of slightly guilty of over-covering at times for Liam Scales, because the kind of right winger seems to be getting on the ball quite a lot, and a lot of their chances have come down that side. If he's not getting a cross in, he's getting at the back post. I would like to see. I think obviously the discussion before the game was on who was going to be starting as a striker. Maeda obviously got the nod over Iheanacho, but I do think it's very, very like the Kairat game in terms of Maeda's performance. He drops deep, but he's not an out-and-out striker, I don't think, and he's not that focal point. The ball keeps coming back the way, and he's been caught offside quite a few times, and I wouldn't say that's lazy, but Celtic can't really seem to get the ball at the pitch the same way Red Star can. I'd like to see Tenecti. I think he likes the ball to feet quite a lot, but there is that chance to run in behind, which I don't think he's taken yet. But I suppose, like I said, the good thing is the team haven't conceded a goal, where Red Star have had the better chances. I think there's cause for optimism. I think we'll expect to see a better performance the second half, but Celtic have to be aware, because Red Star are definitely threatening.
Yeah, I mean, the only time really Celtic had an opening that was right at the end of the half there, and actually Liam saying in commentary, Carter Vickers is berating himself, and he should do, I guess, shouldn't he? It was a very, very good opportunity from 5-6 yards out, and he heads it high over the bar.
Sometimes in Europe, these are the chances that win you the games. You might have one chance and a half, and that was Celtic's gilt-edged chance, and I think Carter Vickers has got to hit the target. Because you go on 1-0 at half time. I think obviously Celtic have had slightly more possession than Red Star, but it's kind of always, so far, it's kind of been in front of them. Very, 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 very typical from Celtic and their other performances in Europe this season. I just would like to see Celtic counter quicker on the transition, because I do think their kind of slow play it leads to Red Star being able to regroup very quickly.
Yeah, Richard, just on there was one really good piece of play from Celtic, I think it was around about 27 minutes, where Scales had the ball, Tierney goes into that inverted full-back position into midfield, the ball's slid up to Necti, and he plays in Tierney in beyond the fullback into that space.
Yeah.
And he got to the byline and cut it back. And okay, he never picked anybody out, or they never got the end of it, but it was really good advanced play. We don't see enough of that. The problem at times when Tierney's playing left back, he's not a Greg Taylor. We know that. He doesn't go and say, he goes in the odd time, but he doesn't go in naturally into that position. And Scales is almost like a square ball to Tierney, and then as a pass up to the winger who has the fullback up against him, and there's a lack of space. When Scales get that balls out and the area is cleared, he can play that ball, and he plays it really well into that winger's feet, and then they can play it from there, and it's higher up the pitch. I'd like to see more of that, to be honest, if they could. Now, you're taking a risk away from home, probably, because you're leaving space that they could exploit if Tierney goes in there. But I think that suits Celtic's play, and it suited them when Greg Taylor played, and he did it very, very well at times.
The one time it's happened, there was a bit of joy from it, and like Pat says, we've not seen it enough. I just think that when Tierney stands next to Liam Scales in the same line as him, he's only got 2 or 3 options. He can either pass to Tonecti or pass it back to Scales or try and do something himself. But I would rather see Tierney make that run every single time and leave the space for Tonecti, because that one time there was a bit of joy from it, and there's not been enough of that so far.
And that's the sort of tactical tweak that's pretty easy in terms of enacting for the second half, if that's the way Brendan Rodgers wants to go.
Yeah, well, listen, he had it with Greg Taylor. Obviously, he's a different type of player, Tierney. We know that. But it's just having taken that little bit more risk when you have good possession, when Scales has good possession. Yes, the risk would open up a space. If you could probably get counter-attacked down that side. But it also allows Celtic to be more progressive in their play, I think. You see on the other side, Colby Donovan, he comes on the inside a lot, much more. I think he's been asked to do that. Maybe that's something naturally to him, and maybe he's been doing it since he was a young player, and the way that he used to play. But it doesn't happen as much on the left side now, and it's only because Tierney probably has come to the club and he has to grow into that situation.
Edinburgh City back on level terms against Celtic B in the Challenge Cup. Jack Duncan with his third of the season. James McFadden's had a few moments to reflect on the opening 45. What do you think Celtic are going to need to do, James, in the second half if they're to A, get through this without conceding, and B, potentially get in front in the game?
Yeah, well, just as Aidan says, I think going forward quicker. They've had opportunities to drive forward or maybe have a quicker counter, and they want to build the control and slowly force Red Star back onto the edge of the box, and then it looks like it almost has to be the perfect opening to score. So I'd like to see more speed. Like Aidan says, I'd like to see Tonecti running in behind more, stretching the game. He comes to feet and he's really good when he gets it, looks after the ball well, but as soon as he gets it, he's got the right back that gets as tight as he can to him. You've got the recovering wide man to double up on them, then you've got the midfielder to come inside to treble up on him, because I've obviously watched and seen the impact he's had. So either if he's going to come to feet, he needs to move it quicker, and you need to get the runner from the midfield that's going to go beyond. But either way, they need someone that's going to stretch the game. Red Star get really compact and narrow and make it difficult for Celtic to play through. When they have the ball, the 2 wide men are high and wide on the back line, forcing Celtic into a back 4, and then the space is there for the midfielders to get in the holes between midfield and defence and get at Celtic. The switch of play is good, the speed in which the counter is good. So I think Celtic just have to play them at their own game, almost when they get the ball, where they play with more speed, more urgency to go forward. There was a chance even towards the end of the half there where the cross comes into the box. It's only Maeda that's a target. Yeah. And I know he scores a really good goal against Kilmarnock, but he's not renowned for getting on the end of crosses as a striker. We're more associated with him stretching the game and running in behind, getting his chances there. So I think that has to be better. A willingness to go and stretch the game and force Red Star into defending. I don't think they're causing them loads of problems when they have the ball, so just move it a bit quicker. It's been something Celtic have had a good start to the season, a very good start to the season domestically, but still some of their play has been a little bit slow. I would like to see a lot more speed in their attack.
Well, we have seen it in Europe so far this season, haven't we? Of course, the 2 stalemates against Kairat Almaty and the loss on penalties, and they really haven't offered much, if anything, of threat so far this evening. If they're to win, that's going to have to change in the second half. But you said earlier, Pat, that you thought a draw in Belgrade would be a very decent result. Having seen the first 45 minutes, has that reinforced that view?
Yeah, I would take it. I would take it right now. I know the lads will be saying that the game's there to be won also if you change a few things, and they have enough possession probably that they should be able to create more opportunities. But I think when you consider the chances that Red Star have created and haven't taken, then I think you would walk away from this with a draw and you'd be saying, yeah, we got away with it. Maybe second half might be very different, and my opinion might change at full time, but after the first half, definitely a draw.
0-0 it is at half time. Remember, this the first of 8 matches in the league phase for Celtic. They've got a couple of games in October, both of them at home against Braga and Sturm Graz. Trips to Midtjylland and Feyenoord, a home game against Roma, away to Bologna, and it all finishes off on the 29th of January next year with that home game against Utrecht. So it is a long old haul through the Europa League over the next few months, and Celtic's first 45 minutes have seen them fail to cause any great issues for the home defence, but they've held them out. They have had to withstand a lot of pressure from Red Star, but half-time it is. Red Star Belgrade 0, Celtic 0. And remember, Rangers kicking off tomorrow night. We'll have full live commentary from 6 o'clock on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland. Rangers against Genk. The players back out for the second half, 0-0. Red Star Belgrade against Celtic as we rejoin James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
The third meeting between these clubs in UEFA competition. Celtic unbeaten in the previous 2. And only such meetings were in the 68-69 European Cup, with Celtic winning 5-1 at home and drawing 1-1 in Yugoslavia. The first leg in Glasgow seen as arguably the greatest performance in the storied Celtic career of Jimmy Johnston, who scored twice and set up another 2. But he had a fear of flying, so he didn't travel for the second leg.
Well, apologies, clearly. Just where we thought we got things sorted out for the second half, obviously not. The line has almost immediately gone down there. They haven't quite got up and running in the second half. 0-0, remember, at half-time. We'll get back to Liam and James in just a moment or two. St Mirren's B have pulled a goal back against Hamilton. Remember, they were 3-0 down at the break. Jack Lavery has just scored for the Saints youngsters. So it is Hamilton 3, St Mirren B 1. It's still Edinburgh City 1, Celtic B 1 in the other game that is taking place. I think there is a substitution being made by Red Star. Once we get back to the guys in Belgrade, we'll get confirmation of that. The referee just overseeing things down there at the side of the pitch, and the players are waiting to get up and running. I've got to say, I couldn't quite see the numbers on the board that was held up there, but there is a change, and as you can hear in the background, given the atmosphere that is bleeding through, we can get confirmation of that and the second half action with James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Richard, and apologies again. It's probably my fault, because I did say to Martin, our engineer, just at half time there, is that us sorted? So I've jinxed it, but hopefully there will be minimal dropouts in this second half, which is almost a minute old. You've not missed anything, but it's a change for both sides actually. And Celtic have brought Kelechi and Acho on for Daisen Maeda at half time, as they go right to left wearing their change, or one of their change kits, which is the all black with green flashes, and Red Star going left to right in their red and white stripes, red shorts, red socks. They too have made a change. Angolan winger Milson has come on, and he's replaced Nemanja Radonjic, who looked good in that first half. So Arnautovic looks to make a nuisance of himself, plays it out to Milson on the right, fires the ball into the box, and it's cleared by Liam Scales and helped on its way on the far side by Tinekti. Talk us through that change then, James McFadden.
Yeah, well, I think that, Maeda's barely been involved in the game. It's a big surprise that he actually comes off, because we know that Brendan Rodgers likes to move him about and make changes to that front line, and he'll move either left or right. And you would maybe expect if Iheanacho comes on that Maeda would move to the right hand side and Yang would make way. But I think that I can understand the change, because when I was speaking about, you know, balls coming into the box, and even when the ball was coming up or the opportunity to play it up, we know that that's not Maeda's strength, but we know Iheanacho can take the ball into feet and bring others into play. And was really surprised with the Donjic coming off, I have to say.
Technesian with the cross into the Celtic box is put behind for the corner by Tierney. He didn't know what was going on behind him. The first corner of the second half goes to Red Star as they attack the goal to the left, which is the one that the penalties were taken in that European Championship playoff final, which is almost 5 years ago now. There'll be a corner over on the Red Star right, and an in-swinger it is too. The Celtic have to defend this with caution. It's fizzed into the 6-yard area. It's flicked away by Tierney, who gave it away in the first place. Yang helps it clear. Nielsen nods it back out to that far side, but it's eventually laid back to Sol, right of the centre circle. Drifting high ball there, looking to try and get Gojikovic involved at the edge of the box. I think he felt he was pushed there, and eventually Celtic won a free kick with Hatate going down on this near side. It is 0-0, 3.5 into the second half.
Yeah, I think he was pushed. Negrin just gives him a little push in the back, just forced him to mistime his jump. Hatate getting his body in, using his strength to win the free kick. It'd be interesting to see what the change is in Celtic's approach with Iheanacho being through the middle.
Red Star have it on this left hand side with Elznik. He rolls it back to Duarte and then played out to this left hand side for Technesian. The left flank, Ivanic, good ball with the offside flags up, and it stops that Red Star attack. Celtic wanted to take the free kick quickly. The referee wasn't ready though, and it's back with Kasper Schmeichel, who plays it short to his left for Scales. It's it back from Hatate. The ball forward there is read by Tebo, and with Milson on the right flank, dinks it forward onto the chest of Arnautovic, clips it back. Nilsson's onto it, right hand side of the box. Good challenge, Carter Vickers. The home fans want a penalty, but it was a good bit of defending there by the Celtic centre half, because that looked dangerous.
Yeah, he had to get it right, and he got it absolutely spot on, going to ground, stopping Milson. Had made the run in behind Liam Scales, and you know, I was wondering what the approach, the difference was going to be. You can see Celtic are trying to get the two wide men on that back line, trying to force Red Star back, and I think that's fine. It means you can still come short, but you're coming short from a higher position, and then that decision is where the defender you're up against, left back or right back, whether they go all the way, where they give you a little bit of space. If they go all the way, you can spin in behind, but if you start in a deeper position, there's only really one place you can go, and that's the feet and get the ball, and you're allowing the control then onto the full-back. But you can see Tunekti's high and wide on the left, Yang's high and wide on the right, and Celtic trying to stretch the game a bit better.
It is Tunekti over on the Celtic left, rolls it back onto the halfway line for Scales. Short ball to his right for McGregor. Back to Scales and then to Hatate. Liam Scales chips it forward. Tierney's got away from his man, bursting into the box, can pull it across. He's behind Iheanacho. Chance for Benjamin Nygren. He forces the save from the goalkeeper, who holds on. Best chance of the game, really, for Celtic from open play, and Benjamin Nygren's effort is saved, and it stays 0-0 on 51. But that was vintage Kieran Tierney over on that far side.
Yeah, it was. The time they run's perfect. We are right in line with the penalty spot, so you can see right across the line of fire that across the face. Iheanacho had made a run, he was in space. I know he picks it, Nygren, but I think that you need to feed your striker there. Nygren keeps his eye on it, side foots it, comfortable one then for the goalkeeper, but you're spot on. The run that's getting in behind, it's what we've been asking for, certainly at half time. What's the difference you want to see? Someone willing to take that gamble and run in behind, stretch the game.
There's another one for Nygren. He's in behind. Iheanacho's waiting. It's on a plate, and somehow the goalkeeper keeps it out. There's no flag either. It's going to be a Celtic corner, but Kelechi Iheanacho with the goal gaping right in front of him somehow can't convert. Matthias makes the save, He's been injured in the collision with the Celtic striker, and it stays goalless. But Celtic have had 2 superb opportunities in the last 60 seconds, that one in particular, and how much will they live to regret not converting there?
Well, it's in quick succession. This time down the right hand side, Nygren this time spots Iheanacho and fires it across. He waits to hit it with his left foot, and he tries to open his foot up and put it into the far post. From where we're sat, it looks like an incredible save for the goalkeeper Mateus, but he should be scoring from there. Iheanacho maybe meet that with the right foot, hit it near post, firm, because there's not a great deal of pace on it, particularly when you let it come across your body. You're then trying to guide that into the far post. If it's not precise, then the goalkeeper can get the save on it. But in any case, Celtic doing exactly what you've asked in the half time. Can you get in behind them? Can you get crosses into the box and get chances? And that's 2 in quick succession.
A lovely ball in for Nygren, wasn't it? And then as he looked like he put it on a plate for Iheanacho, and the chance goes a begging. The goalkeeper's okay, exchanges a handshake with the Celtic substitute there after the collision. Celtic have a corner which they've taken short. Nygren sweeps it in, Scales helps it on its way, Donovan hits it at goal, and it's blocked by the keeper again. Another chance for Celtic. They've all come in the last 2 minutes. Mateus has made 3 saves. Donovan's one was a kind of an orthodox little flick towards goal, which the keeper saved relatively comfortably, but it's another chance.
Yeah, it's a good save, as you said. It comes into Donovan, and maybe the goalkeeper's not expecting him to get the shot on it. He just flicks it with outside his boot. He's not even facing the goal, and the goalkeeper's alert. It's another good save.
A clutch of opportunities for the Scottish champions, but it remains 0-0 against the Serbian champions. And it's Tebo knocking it forward to Handel. He's got a willing runner ahead of him as he tries to knock it through to Tiknisian, but Schmeichel comes to the edge of his box, gets there first and clears. Hatate heads it into the Red Star half. Iheanacho trying to get onto it. Hooked clear there by Elznik. Forward from Donovan. Iheanacho chases, but it's a pretty comfortable one there for Veljikovic, albeit he sliced it out for a Celtic throw-in. Donovan takes right in front of his manager. Brendan Rodgers, hands in pockets, the edge of his technical area where he likes to watch the game unfold. So it shifted to Scales and then back to Schmeichel, the edge of his box. Had to be quick, just nicks it away to Hatate just in time. And the pressure was on there. It's with Donovan across the halfway line, outside of the boot, finds Nygren down the right. Yang on the touchline, Nygren moving in field instead, looking for support, rolls it in. Iheanacho takes a touch and scores! The Celtic sub gives the Scottish champions the lead in Belgrade. Fabulous work by Nygren. Iheanacho in the box, 8 yards from goal, and time to take the touch. The keeper got something onto it, but it finds its way into the right corner of the net as the Celtic players celebrate in front of their supporters off to our right. A magic moment for Kelechi Iheanacho, and it is Red Star Belgrade 0, Celtic 1 in Serbia.
Well, first of all, what a first touch it is from Iheanacho. It's fired into him, he lets it come across his body, kills it dead, and then just reverses it beyond Mateus into the far corner side netting. But it comes from Yang being high and wide, Donovan picking the ball up, driving forward into space. Nygren makes a run forward ahead of Donovan, picks it up in the right hand side, drives inside, looks like he's going to get his shot away, spots Iheanacho and just wraps it into his feet. And that first touch makes it, because if he doesn't control it like that, the chance is gone. It's an incredible first touch and a really composed finish. Exactly the start Celtic wanted to this second half.
Well, they've deserved it for their endeavour since the turnaround. With 3 opportunities before that, and now they've put themselves in a sensational position here.
Yeah, absolutely. Red Star need to go and chase it. Not that they've not been trying to force the issue, but it should leave gaps. But it's definitely a much better start to this second half from Celtic. Of course, you get the goal already, it's a better start, but just how they've gone about it. More speed, more willingness to go forward, more runners going forward and creating problems. And Iheanacho, he's had a chance just a minute ago, which he probably should score, But that's the beauty of the striker, the life of a striker. You keep putting yourself in there and you get your opportunity, and it's a tremendous touch and finish.
Yeah, that was a more difficult chance, the one he's converted. Nielsen for Red Star over on the right. Tierney trying to stick with him. His cross comes in off Tierney and behind for a Red Star corner as they look for immediate retaliation here. That goal timed on 56 minutes, scored by Kelechi Iheanacho, his second for the club after he opened his account on his debut with that late controversial penalty at Kilmarnock. And the Celtic fans, a great view of that, happened right in front of them. And to the other end of the pitch, it's a Red Star corner which is swept into the area towards Tebow. Celtic head clear. Tierney got his head to it, brilliant defending, and the referee's going to give Celtic the free kick for the challenge on him as well.
Yeah, that's brave defending for Kieran Tierney, and that's going to have to happen as well. You know, we spoke about the positive. The Celtic more intent to go forward, but Red Star showed flashes in the first half that they're a decent side, so they still have to be fully concentrated.
I think most are aware of Celtic's pretty abysmal away record in European competition. This is Brendan Rodgers' 31st European away game, including qualifying matches. He's only won 5 out of the previous 30, and just 2 in actual tournament play. Schmeichel plays it short there from the free kick to Carter Vickers, out to this near side for Donovan. Outside of the boot, ball forward to Iheanacho, who knocks it back into the midfield for Hatate, to Scales, and out to the left for Tierney. Drives it forward for Iheanacho, who would have been in an offside position, or was, but he obviously elected not to go for the ball, knowing that.
Liam, if you go back to the goal as well, just in the build-up, it looked like Celtic were taking a real risk. Back to Schmeichel, remember he rolled the little slow one into Hatate. You go out the other side, and you have to be brave, and that is brave, but you're building with a purpose. Comes out to Donovan, he drives forward, and then all of a sudden Celtic got a goal out of it. But it's in the speed, in the passing, knowing exactly what you're doing, taking that risk, drawing Red Star onto you.
Celtic 1 up in Serbia against Red Star. Here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, on 5 Sports Extra as well this evening. More Europa League action to come tomorrow as Rangers host Genk at Ibrox in their first Europa League game. Mentioned earlier, Aston Villa Bologna also taking centre stage tomorrow evening. Yang with a nice little run, but he's lost it. He ran into traffic, and now it's with Ivanic on this near side. Met by Donovan, he puts it out for a Red Star throw-in. Bowled by Ivanic infield, and Handel loses out to Hatate. Scales goes down, but Celtic have the ball, and it's Tinekti. Just nicked away from him by Sol. And now it's over on this near side for the home team with Elshnik, but there's a player down. I wonder if play will stop. Looks as though it's going to continue. Handel was down. Veljikovic eases the ball out to the right side for Sol. Then Nielsen taking on Tierney, looking to get behind him. He's got some pace, and Tierney reacted brilliantly there. He's hurt himself making the challenge as he tried to retrieve the situation, which he has done. And Schmeichel gets it away, and out it goes for a Red Star throw-in on the far side. But Kieran Tierney is down, and it's always a concern when you know of Kieran Tierney's injury history. It looks like he's getting himself back to his feet, which is good to see.
Yeah, he defends the situation really well. You can see Milson has real pace. Drops his shoulder as if he's going to come inside, knocks it outside. Just hope he's okay to continue it.
And he's not needing treatment, so he's going to be okay.
There's going to be fatigue with Kieran Tierney because, you know, all season he's been protected and rested and taken off at 60 minutes, 70 minutes. Then he goes and plays 90 at the weekend, and he's having to go and do it again, start a game again. So he is going to suffer from fatigue.
Tierney bowls the ball forward from the throw-in. It's off Sol's boot into the midfield. It drops again. Elshnik slides in, but there's been a foul on a Red Star player, and it will be on Handel, and that will be a free kick to the home team, which is just about midway inside Celtic territory, 10 yards from the far side touchline. A chance to load the box here. big line of players along the 18-yard line. Arnautovic very interested in this. He's at the front of the queue. Marked by the goal scorer Iheanacho. Red Star looking for an equaliser, and it comes flicked for goal by Arnautovic, and then taken wide off one of his own teammates there. It was an opportunity. Arnautovic is left frustrated. It was certainly heading for goal. I'm not sure it had the kind of power that was going to beat Kasper Schmeichel, but one of his teammates got on the road, and it goes behind for the goal kick and stays Red Star 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, that was bizarre. Arnautovic with a great header, and Duarte's just fallen up, but it's almost like he doesn't see the ball. It just hits off him as he's running in towards goal.
Red Star in possession. Iheanacho couldn't control when it came up to him, and now it's down the left to Duarte towards the byline, sliding into Donovan. He's done well tonight. They're claiming he's used a hand there. They want a free kick, which they're not getting. Flip ball forward by Jan to Hatate, out to Nygren on the near side. His ball in field is cut out though by Tebo. Red Star get it forward. Celtic clear, long ball down the near side. Iheanacho putting the pressure on Viljukic, and it goes out for a throw into the visitors down on this near side. Good forward play by Iheanacho.
Yeah, it is, and that's probably the difference when you've got a striker. You know, there's a lot of debate of whether Daizen Maida's a striker. He's a wide man. He can play up front, no doubt, but when you've got a striker and you're able to, you know, hold the ball in and back defenders up, then when the chance is on, especially it's just a clearance down the line, it makes defenders make decisions.
There's Donovan, the right angle of the Red Star box to Iheanacho, crosses in. It's not the worst ball, just a bit too high for Tenekti, and sails over the Tunisian's head and behind for the goal kick to Red Star. Maida, he's obviously voiced his he was away on international duty, voiced his desire to leave Celtic, and he'd hoped to have left by now. But his position on the left wing is now under massive threat with Tenekti in the team. Iheanacho's making a good impression at the start of his Celtic career through the middle, and you just wonder if it'll be the start of a phasing out of the starting 11 of Daizen Maida. Here comes Celtic's opponents though, and it's Red Star. Arnautovic slips it into the left-hand side of the 6-yard box. The effort across goals blocked behind for the corner. It was Technician blocked by Carter Vickers. Red Star corner as their supporters crank up the volume again.
Yeah, it was that run in between full-back and centre-back. Carter Vickers does well to get back and get the block on. The little slip pass from Arnautovic. But yeah, when you listen to the noise in here, this how they're going to fire this team up, and they believe they can get something out of this game.
It's the Portuguese handle to take the corner, lefted out swinging, and it comes as a header flicked towards the right hand side. Table back across, and the equaliser is touched home. Celtic didn't deal with it, and it came away to the back post. The centre back Table played it back into the 6-yard area, and it's been touched home. It might well be Arnautovic who got the final touch, but it is Red Star Belgrade 1, Celtic 1. All square again.
Yeah, it's a mess from Celtic's point of view. They don't get the first contact. Tebo does brilliantly to keep it alive at the back post. He's running onto it away from goal, just turns and hits it first time, flashes it across, and if it's Arnautovic, I think it is, it gets the finish. He's in the right place at the right time to sweep it into the back of the net.
Well, it was Arnautovic. We were quite a bit away from it, but it looked as though it was him who knocked it home. Indeed it was, and it's his second Red Star goal after making that emotional pilgrimage to this club in honour of his former Bologna manager Sinisa Mihailovic, one of the big legends of this city, this club. And Celtic have been dragged back on terms 9 minutes after taking the lead, and Arnautovic levels the game, and now Nielsen coming forward, but it's a poor ball cut out by Tierney, and then out it goes for the throw on the far side. It'll be a goal that Brendan Rodgers will be disappointed that Celtic have conceded here.
Oh, absolutely. You know that the defence this season has been very good. They've done really well from set plays, long throws, crosses into the box. They've defended really well this season, and so to not get the first contact and not react particularly well to the second one either, it will be a huge frustration. But
it's a slack one from Nygren, and now it's Arnautovic at the edge of the box, slips it into the area, and Schmeichel saves from Ivanic with his left boot. Milson back in, Comes off Donovan. Did he use an arm? The flag's gone up on the far side. The Red Star bench, all roses, one there. Arms outstretched, looking for a penalty.
Well, we're too far away to see if it was a handball or not. It's offside in any case. But Celtic just getting a little bit slack in the midfield. And look, this is, speak about the atmosphere in here, the noise is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the goals come at a good time for them because they weren't left to stew on being behind for too long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Engels and Forrest are going to come on for Celtic. Hatate is one of the players who's going to come off. So the Engels for him, and the other change with James Forrest coming on. We'll see Yang replaced. So 1-1 going into the final quarter of this one, match day 1 in the Europa League. Celtic led through Iheanacho on 56, cancelled out by Arnautovic on 65.
It's a big opportunity for Engels. Hasn't been featured too much this season.
Struggled at times, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and obviously he's got the burden of carrying the price tag. I don't think the way that's made out or portrayed is that he had a poor season last season. I don't think he did, but he certainly struggled to get into the team this season. Normally when he plays in the position Nygren's in, and I know people look at it and say, well, it's still midfield, but it'd be interesting to see how he does coming off that left hand side onto his right foot, see if that makes any difference to him.
Scales is to get it back to his goalkeeper. Arnautovic closing Schmeichel down. It's played quickly by the goalkeeper back to Scales. The Celtic have to try and keep the head just in these next few minutes because the decibel levels have clearly noticeably gone up. When Arnautovic found the net there. Red Star giving it at home. They'll want all 3 points. There's Carter Vickers for Celtic, who's playing it right to left of the circle for Scales. And out to Tenekti on the far side. Haven't seen much of him in the second half. As Tierney plays it back onto the halfway line for Scales. Short to McGregor. Back to the Irishman. And then on the left, Tierney. Scales has it once more. Tierney tries to push it forward to Tenekti. It's cut out though, and now Red Star have it back, but McGregor pinches it back for Celtic, scampering forward as he loves to do. Flicks it with the outside of the boot to the left there. Tenekti now taking on his man Soul. That's a brilliant challenge from the right back. It really was a meaty challenge. Takes the ball away, and Nilsson's coming through here for Red Star. It gets past Donovan, but not Carter Vickers as Arnautovic closed in. It's Carter Vickers here, flicking it out to this near side for Nygren. Forrest can't keep it in play as it went beyond the Swede, and Red Star have a throw-in, and they have a bit of momentum here behind them.
Yeah, they do, and you know, the burst and run forward from Callum McGregor's excellent. Plays out to Tenekti. He's always coming into the right foot, and he just gets the timing wrong. So does really well, defends him well, and snuffs out the danger.
Well, important time this for Celtic, isn't it? Because having conceded the goal, we've watched them away from home in Europe at times. They've conceded goals in gluts, and be very keen at worst to get out of here with the scoreline as it is right now.
Yeah, and I think it's about not panicking and not trying to force it, because I know they've lost the lead, but back to square one. You know, they've still got a point at the minute, and there will be chances. There's still plenty of time to get chances if you can do what you did earlier in the half. But it's important that you don't get sloppy and trying to force it again.
Final 20 in Belgrade, 1-1. Soul picks up and rolls it all the way back to his goalkeeper. First time, long ball from Matthias. Comes off Scales' head, and Engels gets onto it. And it's his cushion header back to his goalkeeper. And a little bit of a rebuild for coach Milivojevic for Red Star over the summer. They made around 45 million euros in player sales during the summer window. Pretty big turnaround, and 18-year-old centre-back Veliko Milos Savelevic went to Bournemouth for 15 million. And Celtic come through down the left. He's pulled back towards Iheanacho. He can't make proper contact on it, and the goalkeeper makes the block. And now Red Star come away on a counter-attack of their own now. Carter Vickers sliding in on Arnautovic. A brilliant challenge. And the Red Star staff are unhappy about something down below us. The goalkeeper's down again. We saw him collide with Iheanacho earlier, and there was not quite a similar situation there. They were in the same part of the pitch. Iheanacho, I think it was, it's caught him. And that's been a big turnaround at Red Star, but they made some serious money, as I said, there on 2 18-year-olds. Another one went to Leipzig, that one went to Bournemouth. And so their top scorer left as well. She moved to Germany, top scorer from last season. So they have had to rebuild. But how would you rate this Red Star Belgrade team against some of the others that Celtic have come up against in Europe recently?
I think they've been decent. I think that, you know, the way they've gone about being open and expansive, and, you know, the way they move the ball, and also that transition back into the defensive shape, but getting narrow and compact. Second half, Celtic obviously started better, stretched them a little bit, but they've been a match, more than a match for Celtic. I have to say, it's good to see Mateus sitting back up, because when the physios ran,
he's sitting up, and a couple of reserve goalkeepers on the bench. One of them's doing a little warm-up just now. He was, as I mentioned, down earlier. I think they are going to make a change here. Looks like Alexander Katai is going to come on. He's their top scorer for this season. He's already scored 12 goals in his 13 appearances, which is some record for the vice-captain here. He's been across 2 spells at this club. He scored 140 times in 277 appearances. Celtic, I think, are going to make a change too. It's their number 10, Balikwisha, who's going to come on. Looks as though Mateus is going to be all right to continue once more. And Katai will be on momentarily for the home team. This is Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Sport Extra as well. Match day 1 in the Europa League. It is finally poised here in Belgrade at 1-1. Katai will come on, and he's going to replace Arnautovic, the goal scorer. He's getting a warm ovation from the Red Star fans. It's his goal that wiped out Celtic's lead. And Katai comes on. He too is well liked around these parts. There's some story with Arnautovic though, isn't it, James, when you think of the promise he made to Mihailovic, and 3 years after Mihailovic passed away, here he is.
Yeah, it is. Incredible gesture from Arnautovic. Obviously showing he's still got that hunger to go and play as well, because I'm sure he would have had good offers.
Chance for Celtic here. Forrest to Donovan. He's level with the Red Star 6-yard line on the near side, rolls it in, and Nygren in the box. Forrest scoops it towards the 6-yard area, headed away. Comes back to McGregor, wide on the right, Donovan. Level with the penalty spot now. Lays it back to James Forrest. Moves to the angle of the box. Slips it to the D there for Iheanacho, who has to turn away from goal. Passes it back to Nygren under pressure and finds Scales out to Tierney. Now Tinetki. Tinekti taking on Sol. Rolls it back to Tierney. And then back to Tinekti. There's another bite at the South Korean international here. Does Tinekti? It's good play down towards the byline. Sol sticking with him. Tinekti dragging him from pillar to post and winning the corner. Brilliant wing play.
Yeah, it is. Sol celebrating because he didn't get taken past, but 5 times there for Tinekti. It's excellent. You just wonder if, when that opens up, can he get his cross in?
Celtic corner, Engels to take, in swinger with the right foot from the Celtic left as they attack the goal to the right. The Celtic supporters are housed behind. And it comes from Engels, whips it in, punched away by Mateus, who looks to have fully recovered from that earlier knock. His Scales hoisted it into the box. It's come all the way through to Mateus, and they've got a man down here to the home side. It'll be Tabo, who is decked. He's being helped to his feet by his goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was just an accidental collision. I think it might have been Carter Vickers, and the ball's helped back into the area. They're just running out knowing they're offside. He just runs into Table.
Michel-Ange Balikwisha will come on for Celtic, and he's going to replace Tinekti. So That was his last involvement, albeit he was still looking full of energy when he made that run there. But he is coming off, and he gets a warm handshake from Brendan Rodgers as the number 10 Balikwisha comes on.
Yeah, I mean, he looked sharp in that last exchange there with Sol, but I don't mind a little bit of freshness. Balikwisha not really showing a lot.
One ball in behind for Katai, but Schmeichel's onto it. James.
Yeah, I mean, Balikwisha's not really shown a lot in the appearances he's made, but it is still early. Playing on his first game straight into the team in the Rangers game, and then playing in the right hand side, which we've since learned that he's more a left winger. But that is, when you play for Celtic, you're judged straight away. Wow, it's
a terrible ball out of defence by Carter Vickers, and Red Star are onto it, and the shot is deflected wide from Elsnik. That's a let off for Carter Vickers in particular. Really sloppy ball out of defence.
Yeah, I mean, Schmeichel's having a go at Nygren, but he can see everything as he's making the pass. And it didn't look like it was on. He's asking for it to go to feet, but unless he makes a move to go to feet, then don't play it. It's not on, but Carter Vickers getting over for the block.
Handel with the outswinging corner with the left foot, fresh air swipe at it. It will break to Milson. Turns it out to Sol, wide on the right. First time cross, looped into the box with the right foot, headed away by Nygren. And now it's with Duarte. He's managed to find Milson, who's in space and behind Tierney, far side of the box. He shoots, and it's easy for Schmeichel to flop down onto in the end. But that was a hairy moment for the Celtic defence there, because Milson found himself in loads of room, right hand side of the box. It stays one apiece.
Yeah, he's in acres. Kieran Tierney's covering in, and Milson is in loads of space on the right hand side, and that's a team effort in the end. Comfortable for Schmeichel, but that threat's still there. Celtic are defending the over cover for the opposite side, and Red Star always seem to have a spare man in that overload for the switch of play.
Here come Celtic. It's slipped through towards Iheanacho by Balikwisha, but it's cleared. Long ball forward into the Celtic half. Carter Vickers gathers, finds Donovan down this near side. Infield to Forrest. Back to Colby Donovan on the near side. His ball forwards cut out by Ivanic though. And now Handel to Elsnik. And then Duarte out to Ivanic on this near side. Up the line for Katai. Lovely little pirouette and spin away from Donovan there. Katai's in a central position now. Tried to switch, cut out by Balikwisha. Katai tries to make it settle. McGregor nicks it off him. Iheanacho finds Nygren, and Celtic are looking to hit the counter here themselves. Nygren brought down. The referee's going to give the free kick, and he's going to bring the yellow card out as well. His Handel is booked.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have the replays. It did look like he got a touch on the ball, but maybe that follow through on Nygren, I think it was Technesian with the last ditch tackle. Look, it's one of those where
Technesian, I beg your pardon,
you make the challenge, because if you let him go, you're in trouble. So you take the ball or you take the man. I mean, it's a professional foul. It stops the counter.
Yeah, it was Technesian, the Armenia international at left back, who committed the foul and was therefore yellow carded. It will be a Celtic free kick then here. It's maybe about 8 or 9 yards away from the edge of the centre circle. It's right of centre in the Red Star half. A chance to get this into the box potentially. Benjamin Nygren is over it. Final 10 minutes of the 90 here, 1-1. Nygren floats it to the left hand side of the area where it's headed away by Duarte, but the referee spotted a foul on Sol by Scales, and that all comes to absolutely nothing, and Red Star have a free kick inside their own penalty box.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste. I'm not a fan of the big diagonal to almost taking you out of the box for an attacker to go and then head it back across goal. I think if you're going to do that, then at least play a shorter pass and then change the angle of the cross, because if you don't get it spot on, more often than not, a foul's given or it goes out for a goal kick.
Marcelo Saraci will replace Tierney for the final 9 minutes plus stoppages. Uruguayan. And Tierney gives the Celtic supporters an applause there and makes his way off. It's not bad going, to be fair, and he's made it to 81 minutes. Well, he played the 90 against Partick Thistle on Sunday.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the challenge with Nielsen when he brings him down, you think that might be the end of his night, because he did look a bit tired, but that'll do him the world of good. Kieran Tierney starting at the weekend against Thistle, recovering in time to start again, playing 90 at the weekend and then playing 80 here tonight. If he can go and rack up the volume of games, before you know it, he'll be as fit as he's ever been.
Flip ball forward towards Iheanacho, a really good header there by Table. He's deep inside the Celtic half when he met it there, the centre back. And there's a foul there by Katai, I think it was, brought Carter Vickers down, so that's going to be a Celtic free kick. Katai's down, he's injured himself in the process. He's going to be yellow carded here as well. There's Red Star 1, Celtic 1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly. It looked like Katai was waiting to control the ball, and Carter Vickers comes at speed and makes up a fair bit of distance, and he's fully committed to win the ball, which he does, and maybe it is just a collision, but he's the one guy you wouldn't want to be colliding with. Carter Vickers moving at full speed.
Free kick Celtic, Schmeichel will take in no hurry. As Katai's yellow card was confirmed, he's limping quite heavily at the moment. And Schmeichel waits to take. Can Celtic snatch a winner between now and full time? Let's see. Long ball, Schmeichel flicked on there by Donovan down the near side, but it goes out of play. With a Red Star throw. Kobe Donovan's done alright tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He has. Looks comfortable, confident in the position, playing in the team, driving forward when he has to.
Free kick Celtic again. I think Katai is involved once again. He's just been booked as well. It was well after the ball had gone, because I didn't actually see the challenge itself. I was watching the ball, which is now at the feet of Carter Vickers for the Celtic free kick. Almost on 84 minutes. Red Star 1, Celtic 1. There's Sarachi, he's playing it back to Scales, who in turn goes back to Schmeichel. Short to Liam Scales. Looks up, long ball, looking for Iheanacho, but he's not going to make it there. It's taken by Sol. And on the right hand side goes the Korean, and he's upended, and that will be a free kick to Red Star this time, and Sarachi's just on, is booked.
Yeah, it was a wild challenge. I mean, the ball is bouncing, Sol gets there first. Sarachi's fully committed to try and clear it, gets none of the ball, just takes Sol out.
Right, Red Star free kick just a couple of yards from the far side touchline, level with the edge of the centre circle in the Celtic half, heading towards the final 5 minutes of the 90. Red Star looking to turn this game round completely here. Free kick will be taken over on that far side by Tiknesian. An opportunity here for the home team to try and cause some havoc in the Celtic penalty area. It's taken short actually to Sol. He's on it now. Chip ball in towards the edge of the Celtic box. It's headed away by Scales. Next to Milson. He's managed to work it out wide left here for Ivanic. Steps onto the right foot, bends the cross in. Oh, Schmeichel wasn't getting there, and it's eventually turned behind by Sarachi for the corner. Katai almost got on the end of it. Schmeichel had committed as well. He was out of position, misjudged it. And it's just a corner though.
No, he was in no man's land. He makes a decision to come, and if you're going to do that, you have to come and get it. Then he kind of hesitates, and he's caught in no man's land. He's fortunate there, Kasper Schmeichel.
Here comes the corner, bent in on top of the 6-yard box, headed away by Scales. Milson's onto it. He knocks it back out to the far side. He's going to get the return ball here, right hand side of the box. He crosses in. It breaks to Ivanic, left hand side of the box, takes a touch, shoots, blocked. With low effort. Red Star knocking on the door here. Little chip ball towards the back post, headed behind for another corner by Sarachi. And the Red Star subs are down there trying to whip the crowd up in a frenzy here. In closing stages, it remains 1-1. And it's the home team putting the pressure on here.
Yeah, and the players on the pitch are whipping the crowd into a frenzy as well, because they're having a little bit of pressure here. Crosses into the box, putting Celtic under massive pressure. Crucial few minutes for Celtic.
Absolutely. A point would be a good point to take back to Glasgow tonight. If they can hold on. Well, just about to hit 87 minutes. Red Star corner, wide on the right, left-footed in-swinger. Attack the goal to the left, and it comes. It's headed away by Iheanacho. He comes out to this left-hand side, so no damage done there. Red Star throw. Tiknisian takes it, bowls it infield to Milson, who then turns it into the centre circle for Sol, who takes a touch and clips it forward with the right foot. Headed away by Carter Vickers. Nodded back forward there by Veljikovic. Out to the left for Duarte. Looks up, looking to find Katai in a pocket of space. Comes into the box. Katai wins the header ahead of Scales. Heads it back towards the 18-yard line. It's a shot at goal which is skewed past. They're wanting a corner. They're not getting it. It was Handel's effort. And it stays Red Star 1, Celtic 1.
Yeah, we're miles away, but it looks like it comes off the back of Sarachi as he goes to block it. But it's a clever header from Katai. It's one of those high looping ones into the middle of the box. Again, Schmeichel thinks about coming, thinks better of it, and it looks like Katai's just going to flick it towards goal. But he's got the awareness and the intelligence to know that he won't get enough power to trouble Schmeichel, so he just lays it down to the edge of the box. For Milson coming off of that right hand side. And Celtic get the ball. Well, Celtic see out the danger.
The ball's up in the air, it's headed forward. There by Tiknisian. Drops to Callum McGregor though. McGregor under pressure from Ivanic. Gets it back to Scales. Back to McGregor. Ivanic slides in. Manages to do enough to nick it back off McGregor. There's a switch attempt out to the left. There may well have been a free kick. The referee's back seems to have been turned, and it's James Forrest on it. Flicks it through. Chance here for Celtic perhaps. It's Iheanacho wide on the left. Balikwisha makes his move into the box. Iheanacho slips. Gets back up. Still on it. Up against Sol. Turns it back to Sarachi. Forrest, lovely little touches away from two. He's away from a third one as well, the edge of the area, but a misunderstanding with Arne Engels means the chance is gone. He's knocked out for a throw-in, but it is to Celtic, level with the Red Star penalty spot on the near side. As we move into the 90th minute, 1-1. Engels lays it back to McGregor. Square to Sarachi and back to Scales.
I tell you what, the Iheanacho slip, I don't know how he does it, but it's absolutely incredible. Goes to try and cross it, slips, somehow still manages to keep it under control.
Well, the Celtic striker was almost the set-up man there. Balikwisha was waiting in the middle. And there will be a throw into Red Star, which Tiknisian will take on this near side. Heading towards stoppage time now. It's Red Star with the ball forward handle, but it goes out for a Celtic throw-in just inside Red Star territory. Donovan with the throw. Pulls it down the right-hand side for Nygren. Nice little flick back away from Tiknisian. Little back heel looking for Forrest. Doesn't quite make it to the Celtic veteran though. Red Star clear. Scales wins the header. McGregor gets onto it. 5 minutes have been added. We're into the first of them. The ball forward by Engels almost got to Balikwisha, but it's cut out. Red Star are coming away. They want to win this game as much as Celtic want to win it themselves. Long balls headed away. Engels misses it in the midfield. Milson has it under pressure from Balikwisha. Still it's Milson. He's ended up in the left central position. Rolls it out to Ivanic on this near side. Looks to hit the byline. The cross cut out by Donovan. Goes behind for a goal kick off the Red Star man last, and he is absolutely furious that that's been awarded as a goal kick. Donovan seemed adamant it had come off him last there, the Red Star man down the left.
Yeah, he claimed straight away, but it's too far away to see whether it did or not. And just before, when Engels picks the ball up, I think he can make that pass. I'm not saying it's an easy pass, but he overhit that rather than underhit it to Balikwisha, who'd made a very good run.
So Ivanic has come off for Red Star, being replaced by Peter Oyanika. He's another Nigeria international who scored against Rangers in the Europa League last 16 in 2021. He missed 35 games with an Achilles injury last season. He's on for the closing stages of the match, which is poised at 1-1 in stoppage time. We've played 1.5 of the 5 minutes that were added. Thibaut has it, the heart of his defence. Long right foot looping ball out to the far side, which Sarachi heads away. Katai gets onto it, rolls it out to that right side for Milson. Then back in field for Handel, and it's back immediately. Shifts it into the central position, then out to the left for Tiknisian. Back to Veljikovic, to Tiknisian again. Down this left-hand touchline for Oljanika. McGregor covering across. He's done enough to see it behind for the goal kick there, Callum McGregor. Well, the referee's thinking, looked like he was thinking about awarding a corner for a moment. Anyway, there's a goal kick, and it remains one apiece here with, well, James, less than 3 minutes to go now.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously take a point for Celtic, given the fact, you know, they've gone in front in the game, had really good chances to start the second half. It could have been more, but if they can get a point, then you never turn down a point away from home in Europe.
No, and it means Celtic would register on match day 1 and look ahead to the home game against Braga next weekend, or next Thursday rather. And, yellow cards come out there for, is it Nigren he was booked?
Iheanacho kicked the ball away as they were trying to take the throw in.
Throw in Red Star. Tiknisian is over it. It's both sides running out of time. They want to pick up the full points tonight, and it's knocked out for a Celtic throw-in. It's a waste of possession there by the home side, and a Celtic throw in this Celtic right, midway inside their own half, perhaps slightly further forward than that by the time Donovan stops walking. Still he walks, so now about level with the edge of the centre circle, but they're just about there. It would be a hard-earned point for sure, and a positive start to proceedings in their Europa League campaign, and there's still time for a late winner here. Donovan has another throw. He's up the park this time though, in the Red Star half, and almost midway through it, and told to stop walking by the referee. Donovan will take. Shrill whistles from the home fans. Ball's not where they want it to be. Donovan pulls it down the right hand side. It's going to bounce out for a throw in down by the corner flag. And we're very nearly there. The final minute of stoppage time that was added, a minimum of 5. Throw in here. Tiknisian's over it, level with his own 18-yard line though. The wrong end of the pitch for Red Star Belgrade this, and then they've passed it straight out of the pitch for a Celtic throw-in. Increasingly frustrated looking Red Star boss right now. Donovan over the throw. Can they force one opportunity? One chance is all they'd need to convert 1 point into 3. Here's Forrest from Donovan's throw-in. It's knocked out for another Celtic throw. It's almost worth, at this point, just trying to bowl it in the box.
Absolutely.
Donovan has this one. Well, surely Celtic are not going to lose this game now. Or can they win it? We've played the 5 minutes. Donovan with the throw-in. There's the final whistle. It's all over. And it is a point on match day 1 for the Scottish champions. He didn't want to be taking part in this tournament. He wanted Champions League. But it's a positive opening to their campaign in the secondary tournament, that's for sure. Coming away from home to Red Star Belgrade is not an easy fixture by any stretch of the imagination. And to withstand periods of pressure for sure in the first half, Duarte hit the post, Schmeichel made a couple of saves, Ivanic had 2 opportunities, his best one probably with a header. Arnautovic volleyed wide. Carter Vickers headed wide for Celtic as they threatened late in that first half. The goals came at either end in the second half. Kelechi Iheanacho with the second for the club. Fabulous finish as he took the touch round about the penalty spot and dispatched the shot into the top right corner. to give Celtic the lead. A lead they would hold on to for only 9 minutes. There's the veteran Arnautovic, the poacher from Austria, turned it home from close range after Celtic struggled to deal with a corner kick just before that. A disappointing goal to concede, but probably many more positives tonight than negatives for Brendan Rodgers, who's had his fair share of issues on the road in Europe, but in actual tournament play, off the back of the draw, which was very nearly a win in 90 minutes against Bayern Munich last time out in tournament proper football in Europe, they have come up with a point here in the Serbian capital as the Celtic manager shakes hands with all his players as they take their claim of the supporters. A couple of thousand of them off to our right. It'll be a decent journey back to Glasgow, I would have thought, for all. It finished here in Serbia. Red Star Belgrade 1, Celtic 1.
Red Star Belgrade versus Celtic
in the Europa League.
Live on Sportside.
He sticks it away!
Scottish football lives here.